When someone wants you out of their life, there are two signs that tend to show up before anything is ever said out loud. There comes a painful moment in some relationships when a person simply stops fighting to keep the connection alive. Not every goodbye is spoken. Sometimes people quietly drift away emotionally long before they ever leave physically. And the hardest part is that your heart usually feels it before your mind is ready to accept it. When someone truly wants you out of their life, they might still smile at you, reply to your texts, or act normal on the surface. But underneath, something has shifted. Their energy changes, their effort fades, and little by little, the connection starts to feel one-sided. Today, let's talk about the two biggest signs that show up when someone no longer wants you in their life. Because once you recognize these signs, you stop blaming yourself and start seeing things clearly. The first sign is that they stop caring about your feelings. When someone values you, they naturally think about how their actions affect you, even during arguments, even when they're busy, even when life gets stressful. Someone who genuinely wants you around will still try not to hurt you unnecessarily. But once a person checks out emotionally, that changes fast. Your feelings stop registering with them. They stop explaining themselves. They stop reassuring you. And slowly, they turn cold. You might notice your sadness doesn't move them the way it used to. There was a time when your being upset made them want to fix things right away. Now they can go hours, days, even weeks without seeming to care how you feel. And what's unsettling is that sometimes they don't even realize how much they've changed because they're already disconnected on the inside. You start to feel like you're too much for simply asking questions. You feel guilty for wanting attention, clarity, or basic respect. But wanting to be cared for isn't asking too much. The truth
is, when someone wants you in their life, they make you feel safe. When they want distance, they leave you feeling confused. And that confusion is often the first real warning sign that things are fading. You replay conversations in your head. You overanalyze small changes. You wonder where the warmth went. It hurts because you remember how it used to be. The effort, the late-night conversations, the consistency. And now you're standing in front of the same person, but they feel like a stranger. That kind of shift doesn't happen by accident, because people protect what they actually value. The second sign is that they stop putting in effort to keep the relationship alive. No relationship survives on feelings alone. Love shows up as attention, as time, as consistency. When someone wants you in their life, they naturally work to maintain that bond. Texting, calling, checking in, making time even when things get hard. But when someone wants you out, the effort disappears bit by bit. At first, the changes are small. Shorter replies, flatter conversations, plans that get canceled more often. Eventually, you're always the one reaching out first. And then comes the painful realization. If you stopped trying, the connection would die completely. That thought breaks people, because nobody wants to feel replaceable, and nobody wants to be the only one fighting for something that used to feel special. Sometimes the other person keeps you around just enough to avoid feeling like the bad guy. An occasional message, a mixed signal here and there. Not because they truly want to stay, but because they're unsure, lonely, or not ready to fully let go. That creates its own kind of confusion. One day they seem interested, the next they vanish, and you find yourself hooked on tiny crumbs of attention while ignoring the bigger picture. Real love doesn't make you beg for consistency. Someone who genuinely wants you around won't constantly leave you questioning your place in their life.
Of course, every relationship goes through rough patches. People get stressed, life gets busy, but there's a real difference between temporary distance and emotional withdrawal. Temporary distance still holds care inside it. Emotional withdrawal removes the effort altogether. And somewhere deep down, you usually know the difference. So if you recognize these signs in your own relationship, don't panic right away, but do pay attention. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop pushing yourself into spaces where you're no longer wanted. And remember this, the right people will never make you feel unwanted just for loving them honestly. They may not be perfect, but they won't make you feel invisible over and over.